BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, should the government be spending £3.5 million on encouraging the over 40s to get fit, or at least fitter? Public Health England has launched a new campaign to encourage people to lead a healthy life in middle age, so we're fitter as we get older. Now, one of the questions of the over 40s being asked to consider is this one: do you feel fat and flabby? Can you imagine ask them, do you feel fat and flabby? Get a punch in the face. The campaign is called One You and wants the over 40s to eat more healthily, exercise more and cut back on smoking and drinking, and perhaps even something else. Chris Snowden is the head of lifestyle economics at the Institute of Economic Affairs. Chris, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the programme, Chris. This campaign, Chris, what do you make of it?
I think it's a real missed opportunity. You know, I do think there is a dire need for better health education, scientific education in this country. And we seem to be going backwards with our public health campaigns. I mean, this new campaign from Public Health England is so misguided. I mean, for a start-up, the £3.5 million is basically being spent promoting a website, which the vast majority of people will never use and never visit. And even if they do visit it, they will find it very patronising, because it really does talk down, particularly considering that you're dealing here with a target audience of middle-aged people. It talks to people as if they were 10. You know, I've visited this website a few times over the course of the day, putting in different amounts that I drink and different things that I eat, and every time it just tells you the same thing. Don't smoke, obviously. Whatever you drink less of it, and try and eat a healthy, balanced diet. And there really is nothing more to it than that.
That's it.
There's nothing very educational about it.
So that's it. Drink less, eat less, and take a bit of exercise. That's it.
Take a bit of exercise, yeah. That's all it really says. So I think we've actually gone back from the Change for Life campaign, which wasn't perfect by any means, but it did at least try and transmit some information. Whereas this one, you've got billboards going up all over the place, and all they say is, how are you? That's it. How are you? Visit this website. And we know, actually, that the kind of people who will visit a website like that are the kind of people who already take care of themselves. Your target market of people who generally don't take great care of themselves are not going to log on to a website, go through a tedious survey for 10 minutes to be told the bleeding obvious.
So I would agree with you. The question is, how do you get through to those people that we really should be targeting? Because, as I say, this this ad campaign or a website doesn't cut the mustard.
Well, the first thing you do is you use the millions of pounds you're spending on billboard and TV advertising by putting some messages in the billboards and the TV, right? You don't rely on them to then go off and visit a website. That's the fatal flaw in this campaign. That it's
so hang on, when you're driving through, Chris, are you saying when you're driving across, you come across a billboard and you look at it and some sort of image, it says, you must eat less?
Well, something along those lines. I mean, that would be a little bit hectoring, I think. But some sort of information about how to live a healthy lifestyle. I don't particularly want billboards saying, stop smoking and drink less and
There was a fabulous advertising campaign many years ago now from a company that used to be based in Buzzard called Wonder Bra, the model, and the advert was the lady in the underwear, and it appealed to both men and women on different levels. Women because they just thought that underwear looks fantastic, and to men because the advert said, hello boys. Do we need an advert that says, look chubbies, eat less?
Well, that advert, if you recall, was linked to quite a lot of car crashes by male drivers.
I'm not surprised.
So there are unintended consequences with some of these things. Now, what I think we need is, particularly when it comes to nutrition, I think there is a lot of ignorance. And it's not helped, actually, by the campaign by people like Action on Sugar recently. They've been demonising sugar above all else. I do think that we should trust people, particularly middle-aged people, to be able to handle fairly or relatively complex information that goes beyond simply drink less, don't smoke, and take some exercise. Give people information about calories. One of the good things, I think, that has come out from the anti-sugar campaign is people have a better idea of how much sugar how much sugar is in.
Well, we are
fizzy
becoming
drinks
more
in
aware
particular.
of sugar and salt, but I'm just wondering if you're really going to target those people in their 40s, then perhaps you do it through GPs, and if they haven't seen someone for a couple of years, they call them in for a review and say, look, they're either fine because they're doing all the right things, and the ones that aren't doing the right things, the GP can say, look, perhaps, and that's basically where the best message comes from, your doctor saying, look, if you drink less, smoke less, perhaps take some exercise and lose some weight, you might live an extra 10 years, and that's the kind of message that gets through.
I think it would be much more effective, and it wouldn't require people to voluntarily log on to a website. But GPs do that. I mean, I don't know how recently you went to see a GP. Pretty much every time I go to a GP, which fortunately is not very often, immediately the questions come out about how much do you smoke, how much do you drink, and if you do smoke, you shouldn't, and if you do drink, you should drink less. So, these are the same kind of messages you're getting from your GP, but just on a much less personal level, and without any kind of added information about how you actually go about this.
Chris, pleasure talking to you. Thank you, sir. Chris Snowden, Head of Lifestyle Economics at the Institute of Economic Affairs. So the government is spending a bit of money, £3.5 million, Public Health England, to try and tackle the problem of obesity and ill health in the over 40s. And you're being asked to... one of the questions you'll be asked on this website is, do you feel fat and flabby? I don't know. This may come as a surprise to you, but apparently if you want to stay healthy and get fitter, then you need to eat less, smoke less, drink less, and take some exercise. You knew that already, didn't you?
BBC Three Counties Radio.